out here for you. You don't know what it's like to be me out here for you.
We choose truth over facts.
Never go for retard.
Come on, man. Oh, yeah. How we doing, Tim? It is Kaz from In the Trenches with Kaz, and I'm sorry I can't slide that over so the minority of our viewers, the ladies, get to see that Australian package, which in actual fact was me only a year ago. Maybe that's fake news. Let's see. Guys and gals, how are we? It's about to be 2025, 27th of December. I haven't been on for a hot minute because I've basically been procrastinating. There's no excuses. I've been trying to make sure that everyone around me has a great time. Mum and Dad, Danny, get fed over Christmas, the presents, being there for my daughter who lives here with first world problems. But other than that, I miss you. I get the pressure. I feel it churning. Wish I could get on there and talk to you about almost anything. I'd walk around with a camera strapped to my head. It's not that I'm an extrovert. It's the fact that I'm my fucking family, man. Yeah, I dig it. And I know there's a lot of yous out there that are thinking, dude, between Zero Limits and Kaz, what am I going to do? Fall into the trap of listening to geopolitics from the USA and feeling negative? Well, that's not what this is about. This is about us looking at 2025 and not just saying what do you think is going to happen in the world, but what is going to happen for you, for Brady Cars, for Simon Powell, for Cassie. Is she going to have a new kid that pisses her off? Or is it going to be an angel? We don't look at the good, do we, too often? Is this going to be about fitness? Is it going to be about living your life? Is it about seeing that time is more valuable than money? Which is not true when you're 19 and 20. Is it going to be about joining the military? Is it going to be knocking down hurdles? Is it going to be about meeting a new person that says, I like the taste? Is it going to be about massive change globally where the pendulum is starting to swing back to normalcy now? People being held accountable for their actions. Ozoff, how you going, mate? Man from down under, g'day. Eddie Bennett, which Ed is it? Is it number 4? Morning from USA. Oh, it's Ed Jr. Ed Jr., g'day, mate. How you going? USA, as you can see there, there's always a cryptic message in everything I do with the thumbnail. And here we've got Australia and USA together on a beach, and she looks like she could take a man into deep water, get you in trouble, so to speak. Mr. Buckarooni's here. The bloke in Aussie Boys will be me by July. Hashtag me too, my man. I'm starting to feel good. I haven't shit myself in more than 10 days. I'm about to hit the road tomorrow, boom, and get in the candy van and head up north as far as the Sunshine Coast. Do a donut like one I've been sitting on, Buckaroony sits on. And then I'm going to head my way back, diving in the water, getting footage of said water, and hopefully meeting Mrs. Caswell next. Foxy Fox, hey, Kaz and team. G'day, the Fox, FF. Simon Powell there. G'day, Buck, Eddie B. Same to you, Simon. So we've got USA representation. We've got Australia here. I think this is a really nice looking image on the screen too, so to speak. I looked at something neutral for you. Future tour area. G'day, Merry Christmas, fellas. G'day, mate, to you. The military guys that are watching this at the moment are about to go in. You have for people then the fact that it's the only career other than teaching that is bookmarked, bookended by up to 7 weeks off at Christmas. No, it's going to happen another year from there. So even if you never go on operations, that's a fantastic thing. Every day I meet people and I ask them, how many holidays do you get off a year? And normally it's 5 days off over Christmas. That's incredible. That'd be shit. Big Bloblet gifted 5 in the trenches with Kaz memberships. Thank you very much, mate. Not let the tentacles of a dangerous woman engulf you in 2025, but you also get out of there on time and escape to hug again another day. Pepper's good to have you here. The thing I love about the gifted memberships, my man, left-handed splayed salute, is the fact that you get sleepers there that can't comment for whatever reason. All of a sudden, bam, they show up, on the screen, and I piss myself laughing. So I'm Jenny G from up north, Jenny on the block. Nicole K, it's been a hot minute for you too, mate. How are you, buddy? Merry Christmas, Happy New Year, everyone. Good to see you there in chat. You'd remember this time of year, Nicole. You would have done all the paperwork for people as they went on holidays, yeah? Aussie's on 6 weeks off right now. Absolutely. And hopefully, right now, we are just over 20 days from Donald Trump coming in, and hopefully Zelensky and Putin come to the table and we actually see a ceasefire and the bloodshed stop. There's going to be a lot of problems after it, but we've got to stop the bleeding before we can put Humpty back together again, if in fact we can. What's going to happen for you finances is crypto starting to take over. We've heard the USA is about to look at $15 trillion Federal Reserve using Bitcoin. That's going to be interesting for the people that are invested. G'day, Buck. You'll have to give up the meat pies if you want that, buddy. No, you don't, man. You just got to eat them earlier in the morning and keep working. Remember, he lives so close to the sun he could touch it. Guys, how cool was that innings of Sam, our latest Test cricketer? What a fantastic effort. And you got a little bit of curry, from the curry yesterday, but he held his resolve. What a champion. Maybe he's going to bring me back to cricket. The great distraction, the gentleman's game. Peppers, smash the like button, team, but not if you can't afford a new keyboard. We've got Navy veteran. They're left-handed. Salute to you, mate. Popeye from the sea. So we've got the RAF, the Navy, and we've got the Army. And we've got the cops here and the teachers. Yeah, well done. Good to have you here. I've got some questions here for you in a second that I asked ChatGPT to ask you. But first of all, let's have a drink. Brady, what's happening, mate, says Mr. Buccarini. Mr. Buccarini, do you actually want to jump on? Do you feel okay? Do you want to jump on at the moment? You're a pretty interesting guy with this sort of stuff. Let's see if you want to jump on. Other than that, this is a good time if you are going to gift. I'd rather you do the gift of, what do you call it? The gift of the memberships. If you want to get someone else coated in green, this is the time of the year for giving. Mr. Buccarini's not at home. Sorry, that's okay. Guys, I gave $50 on behalf of you guys out of the Patreon coin to some homeless people the other day. I didn't get so much as a thank you. And then other homeless came over and said, I'm more homeless than that homeless. And you feel like going, why do you bother? Why do you bother? Wait a second. Some of you are probably actually driving and shit at the moment thinking, what's he doing in the background? Okay, Navy Veteran says, counting down the days, Kaz, till I'm at Holsworthy, and g'day team. Navy Veteran's having a really big year in 2025. He starts up with a brand new role. It's not going to have him in the ocean unless it's for recreational activity. So I'm not going to let him know what you're going to be doing, mate. But let's just say he's going to have a beret. It's going to be a different colour. And it's got something to do with Buckaroonie. So here's some interesting questions from your team. I asked for 10 questions you might ask a live chat about predictions for 2025. Okay, and then what it came up with, the first one was, how do experts predict technology will evolve by 2025 or during 2025? G'day, War Tape, how you go? Oh, mate, that's an interesting name. Has got posted 5 RAR as a clerk. Any advice? Theo, make friends with the diggers. Make friends with them, play sports with the battalion, and see if you can get a group that you can latch onto. And when in doubt, ask any section commanders and down, hey, if you've got any paperwork, I'll help you out with it, because that's what you guys do so well. And what that'll do is make them start looking after you in return. Yep, give and get, transactional, if you know what I mean. Nicole says, Navy vet, my neighbour's son is there and wears the same beret as Buck used to. There you go. There you are. So how do experts predict technology will evolve by 2025? Advancements in AI, quantum computing, and virtual reality. Well, one of my big fears is we're starting to see, that people and a lot of agencies are starting to become redundant, righto? Because they've become too expensive to maintain and now can be replaced by AI. Now, we're seeing that in China at the moment, where almost everyone that has a university degree has no job. They don't know what to do. And that translates down to less money getting spent. Then businesses suffer. Then people leaving the city to go and do more manual orientated tasks. It's going to be a tough life for those that can't keep up with the speed of AI soon. And you can feel it in everything. There is now AI that you can actually buy for $1,200 a year. I'm thinking about getting them when I get back off the road. And what it does is it creates videos, to your script from start to finish, breaks, transitions, voiceovers, everything automatically. It's not cheap, but man, that's incredible. You could have a YouTube channel out ever showing your face, pay $1,200, interesting titles, keep a theme, and end up ultimately with a winning YouTube channel. And then not working at all. The other thing with AI is that's going to bring on things like universal basic wage. It's going to bring on things like social credit score. So you have to be careful about what it creates, because people with too much time on their hands go goddamn crazy. And I know that firsthand. Skynet is getting far too likely nowadays. It's starting to feel that way. What do you guys think? Let us know. Foxy says 2025 technology. What if someone will make you a girlfriend, Kaz? Mate, my girlfriends, I might start looking for love. I might start looking for love in 2025. It's got a bit of a ring to it. 26, not so much. But 2025 does. As long as she's got a low self-esteem, big boobs back, she might be just fine for me. Yep. I'll tell you what. Foxy, if you swap places with dudes, you wouldn't be real happy with what you've got to pick through these days. The modern woman, all you got to do is open your mouth. It's like you've already offended someone. It makes it pretty hard when you're paying for dinners, paying for holidays, doing all the work in the bedroom after you paid for a motel room, and then get told, nah, don't like you because you said something wrong. Funny, it's always after you've paid for the bill. They never walk out before they've had their main meal and dessert. Anyway, Dwayne Duffy, good evening, everyone. Sorry I'm late. You're never late, mate, because you can't get pregnant. Nicole Case says, keep freezing, mate. It might be just my internet up here. Oh, it might be the fact that half the world is on the actual computer at the moment too. No, veteran. I just AI to assist in making music where I own the copyright, so I use it on Twitch streams. There you go. Dutters just bought a coupe. They get all the chicks. We've got Newy Joe, hippies of the 60s, just a memory, never will again. Hippies of the 60s. Isn't it funny how you go to Byron Bay now, and Byron Bay is the most expensive place in Australia, which is meant to be the most laid back. It doesn't make sense at all, and I will be there in a couple of days. What's the anticipated trends in renewable energy for 2025? Will it be solar, wind, other clean energy sources? Will it be utilised? Will it be hydro? I think we're turning our back on that shit. I don't think anyone actually believes the world is going to actually be destroyed in the next 37 days anymore, like they've been trying to feed us. Pardon me. You can't get angry, at Buckaroony, who's just idling his car, diesel, at the lights while you've got volcanoes going crazy, Indonesia, China, and Asian countries, and India, with populations of 1 billion plus, openly throwing their garbage in their water, and pollution, but never saying anything about it. It's weird the way it works. Stickman, it's been a while, mate. Good to have you here, my mate. Hydro is the way to go. It's too expensive, but Hydro just got canned by Twiggy Forrester. He just threw billions away, said it's just not feasible. What change expect in the global economy? I think crypto is absolutely about to take the world by storm. I think that the dollar is spiraling out of control with inflation so quickly. We need something that isn't deflation, or something that is deflationary. And one of those things is cryptocurrency, your stable coins, your bitcoins, all that sort of shit. Usability, I know nothing about it. I can't give advice on it. But if you've got countries and BlackRock, are buying it billions of dollars at a time, they're the people that want your house. So chances, whatever they're touching, is the future. But once all our money is automated, it also means you can be controlled by it. There'll be a lot of focus on green or blue hydrogen energy these days, for sure, mate. I don't think so. I think it's going to go baby drill. Dutters. If renewable was cheapest and the way to go, always trying to build in more and more coal plants. The thing is, Dutters, we know that the answer is to have nuclear, is to have coal, okay, is to I'm not going to say wind turbines, is to have solar, is to have hydro where possible. A combination of all of these things, a combination, not one of. Yep. Twiggy always throwing money at random things to appear to appease politicians for tax write-offs. Probably. Living in the city, it's super hard to get cash unless it's foreign currency. Well, Kentucky and Newcastle doesn't even accept currency, and I thought that was legal tender, which they have to accept, but they don't. They refuse to serve if you don't have automated payment. What else we got? What changes expect in the global economy? How might global travelage and tourism transform in 2025? That's boring. Okay, what we'll ask instead is, who is traveling here? Put a thumbs up if you're traveling overseas in 2025. Hey, Big Bloblet said, he said, g'day to Fiona. She works in Defence Bank at Singleton. Another week for you. Highly of yourself. She's like my sister, mate. She's like my sister. When you go to the School of Infantry, you can go in and she'll give you a lean on and give you some respect. And everyone knows her. Everyone loves her. She's part of the furniture, but never taken for granted. So be careful what you do in front of her too. Foxy Fox. So Sticky's going overseas. Foxy's going overseas. Kaz is going overseas. Because I haven't been on a plane for 2 years since my ass fell out after India. Mr. Buccarini says he's been overseas heaps. It's better here. I think it's better here in some ways, but I will be slowly replacing a lot of my Australia time with Thailand time as my daughter gets a little bit older. And that's just because I just want that comes with swimming every day, not cooking, talking to people throughout the globe. I love that sort of shit. And dogs are free. You just got to walk down. You just got to walk down the street, and it's like you own 50 of them. Huge physical strain, but got to live, hey? Yeah, you do, Stick. You do. Thailand is so nice. It is. The people are great, and it's because they're Buddhists. It's funny when sometimes people go, oh, yeah, but I've been to Bali. You go, Bali and Thailand have nothing in common. Almost. Okay, what is the future for healthcare? Okay, boring. How will environmental policies? Boring. What innovations are expected in the entertainment industry? Well, Hollywood is pretty much dead. They haven't brought out a good movie forever. Gladiator 2, sadly, who's I've ever seen. Future tour. Had a Pepsi Max, mate. Have I lost my chance to join infantry? No, mate. You can be an army reserve if you drink Pepsi. You just got to cut it away before you get in the regular army. And Pepsi's allowed if you're in Kentucky drive-through. Okay, that's allowed. Now, Dominic, yeah, sending you to artillery now. There you go, Dominic. That's not a bad idea. That is not a bad idea. I've got a headache starting to form behind my eye, which sucks considering that I'm about to trip tomorrow. It's been 40 degrees today here in the Bronx in Western Sydney. Matty says he smashed his psych and defence interview, largely thanks to medical to follow now out of my hands. That's it. Matty, when you sit down, okay, and you do a fart and they look to see if anything sticks out, like a piece of cauliflower out your anus, yeah, who knows what's going to happen. There's this AI chick in the background. I keep looking at her every time I look at you guys on the screen. You probably need to look like that dude with the Aussie shorts to be able to get a girl like that. Last movie I watched that was awesome was Marvel. I can't watch any of the Marvel, any of those sort of ones, man. I wish I could. I just can't get into them. I can't do it, Simon. The only sort of superhero I like is Batman. And that's man because you got rid of Robin. Call that homophobia, whatever you want. Never been a fan of Robin. Always had some weird vibes about that dude. What else we got? Space exploration. No, come on, ChatGPT. You can do better than this. Guys and gals, just to put it in common sense, let's put yes, 2025 is going to be better, or no, you don't believe it's going to be better. So yes, better, no, not. And then be ready to just let us know why. I'm going into the Commander-in-Chief. We've got the best chance of some sort of change. Whether you like it or not, the US is the canary in the cave. Whatever they do makes a massive difference to the way your life is going to be. Politics, whether it be geopolitics, whether it be trade, whether it be innovation, whether it be medical, whether it be peace on earth. They are the litmus stick that decides what our life is going to be like, and we're lucky to have them as our friends, our ride or die partners, regardless of what you think. They are the blue ribbon friend that you want to have. And we've stuck by them since World War I. Has to be better. I agree. I don't think it could have got any worse. It could have been to get better with the Democrats in the driver's seat in the USA. I've never seen people hate their country more than a party that completely opens their border. It's disgusting. It's traitorous, to tell you the truth. Well, building a new home. So, yes, Nicole K, well done. With Trump, things should calm down. I think so. He's a great leader. He's a individual. I don't think he's anywhere near as controversial as to make him out because they've been told by other people within the world not to like him. I think people with negative mindsets tend to gravitate towards negative headlines. I don't know. But anyone that's for common sense and for future and for innovation and a shot for the little guy, I'm all for that. I'm all for that. Dwayne, it has to be better seeing us change government. Australia, England, Canada, New Zealand, we need to change, and we need to change goddamn fast. We need to be prepared to have racist governments. We need someone to be more dictatorship. We need to change some bad habits. We need to look at who we are, like we're a kid who's been stuffing around, who doesn't like to work anymore, and being re-educated on what it means to be a citizen. In case you don't know, in Rome, before it became an empire, and you were a patrician or a plebeian, the plebs did not know, couldn't trace their lineage back to the start of Rome. Patricians could. So that created a class system. And what happened is you couldn't serve in the military if you weren't a landowner. And that was the reason why females weren't in uniform, for starters, because they couldn't own land. But the males, if they owned land, the whole thing behind it was if you're a landowner, you have something, so you should have the intention to protect it, to reclaim it, to defend it. So that made the army had something to lose. And then Gaius Marius came in and said, no, we're losing too many people, especially against Hannibal, etc. It's hard to replace those people we lost. So now let's open that up to citizens of Rome, not slaves, and give people a shot to get that army military complex going. And they did that. And then after 20 years service, you were given land and you became a landowner. Roman citizenship was a massive sweetener to tribes as well, that you could actually get citizenship if you complied as a vassal state of Rome. Good stuff, Mr. Donny. Mr. Donny? My youngest son's going through the process now. Next step, medical and fitness test. Mr. Donny, if you or your son want to get on Patreon, the link is in the remarks. Anyone that wants to get onto Patreon that's not there yet, I'm going to be on the road for 10 days with nothing but podcasts and news guys to talk to. One of the recommendations I give to you is get onto Zero Limits and listen to Matty Morris. Because to people like myself, like Mr. Buckarooni's channel and the podcast on Zero Limits, you're listening to me who's helping you get into the military. You're listening to others that have had a military career on Zero Limits on podcasts, Australian podcasts, relevance, and you're listening to Mr. Buckaroony, who's giving you just hard, downright common sense, of a life lived. As you can't go wrong between those three. Still go to Sean Ryan, still go to Joe Rogan, and all that sort of stuff. But yeah. It's just been really sketchy. It's just been really low quality on the freezing side, etc. Newy Joe, you are right. Newy Joe, you are right. We get the schooling system, all it does is create worker bees. It deliberately doesn't teach us about finances. It doesn't teach us how to break. The audio isn't great. I thought the audio would have been awesome. Fucking $1,000 microphone. Yeah, I don't know what's going on. You see people, with a $30 setup that have perfect visuals, perfect, no editing whatsoever, and they're fine. It doesn't matter how much money I throw at this channel work. Schools teaching kids to obey. Yep. They've been given a curriculum that doesn't really teach them a single thing. It keeps them off the street. That's about it. Dwayne Duffy says the audio is fine. Thanks for the chat before too, Dwayne. Hit the like if you can, team. This is the least I had on a stream, I think. But in saying that, that's fine. That's fine. This is Christmas. You're meant to be out there doing something, suffering from a bit of sunburn, the stench of zinc still on your nose. My daughter just got her first ever wetsuit, and she got it from a surf shop where I'd bought my first ever wetsuit myself from. It was a really teary moment. Made me so happy. Brady, this seems to be a major factor turning people away from service. That you don't belong here, tribe. What do you mean? Brady, explain that one. It seems like an interesting thread. This seems to be a major factor turning people away from service. The you don't belong here tribe. No, still stuck on duty, mate. Was on duty on Christmas Day as well. Yeah, you don't get paid extra for that, do you, Navy veteran? You don't get paid extra. Nicole says, so proud of my daughter She graduated year 12 and has been accepted and became a paramedic. I love that. You know what I think about paramedics? They're the angels. But you're going to really have a hand on her shoulder because she's going to go through some tough times, that road trauma. She really is. It's about the quantity. It's the quality. It's not about the HR element that we have, that makes Australia what it is our HR. When we choose now we're choosing our military via social politics instead of meritocracy. It's one thing to have people that come in and actually be a volunteer, but it's another thing to let them be a volunteer, and then when they fail shit, have special things for them based on their color or their gender. That is wrong, and that should never happen. There should never be a preparation for the fitness required course at the taxpayer's expense. There's just, you turned up and you're not ready, you're not fucking joining, come back in 1 year and you wasted our time. That's what it should be. Paramedics are the greatest. They are, man. They're so calm. RAF officers have to do political training now. That's officers ruining officers, mate. Mr. Buccarini, paramedics don't get enough recognition. They have a tough job and see more horrible things. Yep, and those horrible things go home with them as well. That's a sad thing, man. It's a real sad thing. Yep. And I found all the paramedics that I've had in the last couple of years have been absolutely fantastic. They've had the best senses of humour. For those that don't know, I had one of the worst days a human could have without bleeding, where I ended up shitting myself. City in Sydney, shitting myself all through Central Station. It just would not stop. It was something like out of South Park. And they came up to me. They were just laughing with me. And they basically said, mate, I wouldn't have known what to do if I'd had such a bad. It just cheered me up as well. Nicole saying, Stickman, she wanted to enlist in the army. But yeah, that's right. So that was a no-go the day she was born. So this has a backup. This is a backup. Yep, fantastic. Can we get some thumbs up for Nicole Kay there for her daughter? That's an amazing thing. She wore a uniform. Her daughter's now wearing a uniform. Angel on the street. You can't ask any more for someone than that. Brady says, people are sick of, okay, gotcha. People are sick of working in the country and being told they don't belong. Why would they serve? I've read lots of comments about the ADF numbers and recruiting. Look, as far as I'm concerned, I don't see colour at all, and I definitely don't consider someone Aboriginal if they're fucking 5%, 10%. If they don't look it and they don't live with other Indigenous people, there's nothing wrong with asking what percentage actually are you, mate, because you're asking for special treatment. I'm going to treat you like I treat every other Australian, and that's with respect. I treat you with the same respect I give everyone else, even if you haven't got a job. They talk about racism in Australia, but if you saw the way, you can get spoken to in North Queensland just walking down the street, it only seems to go one way, the insults, doesn't it? Sorry if we're going a little bit, if it's sticking a lot. Remember, everyone in Australia is on the internet at the moment, probably recovering from their Boxing Day hangovers, probably looking at their family going, I can't take another day of this craziness. Send me back to work. Who cares if you're 100%? You don't get special treatment. And there should only be one flag in Australia, and that is the one that's around that guy's waist at the moment. That's the Australian flag, people. That's the only flag. It's the only flag that goes across a casket of a dead soldier, of a dead policeman, of a dead paramedic. It's enough. Yep. Anything other than that is just causing division and apartheid. Jesus, it's still hot as hell here. Hot as hell. Should ban all flags, bar national and state flags. Yeah, I agree, Sticky. I totally agree, mate. They barely fly either anymore. Thanks, Jan. You know, I'm not always right, mate, but I always err on common sense and at least 52% of Australians' thought processes. You know, I'll never say all women, all men, you know, but when I say that and I say everyone, I'm at least 52%. Doesn't mean I'm just an outright populist, because if it went on just off populist, then that would mean that everyone is for sale. You know, you could give them something to be signatories. You don't want that. You want people to still buck the system when common sense says to do so. I believe I'm actually infatuated as much as I am with this AI female in the background with the American culture. Kaz has stayed true all these years. I have stayed all these years, Sticky. You know, I walk around the streets of west of every background here. You know, I don't care what colour someone is. I don't care what religion they are. All it is what is the cut of your jib? You know, are you respectful to others? The loudest 5% have been running the country, sadly, and no one could look at Albanese and say they see leadership. Yeah. Brady Dutton gets labelled R because he's only stand in front of the national flag. It's funny, they're giving him the same treatment as what they gave Donald Trump. If you throw enough insults out there, 50% of the population will naturally vote against you, regardless of not knowing any of your actual your principles or any of your policies. It's funny that, isn't it? You know, Dad falls asleep every afternoon. Yeah, well, I wonder why. He's a brickie. He's probably pretty bloody tired after a hard day out there hauling bricks, season weather or terrain. Thanks, Duff. You've got to be able to speak your mind. Be that kid that swears a couple of times, cops a slap it on the ass for it, you know, but then eventually, you know, that guy's got freedom of speech because that's just the way he is. You get away with it. And then after a while, you actually get people come over and ask your opinion because you're not a yes man. It's the funny thing is with it, Sticky, is I don't care if someone is the R word because of how quickly YouTube will come down on you, you know. But there's nothing wrong with being RACIST. You know, if you can tell people the reason why. You don't think Japanese Koreans aren't? You don't think Indians aren't? You know, you don't think Africans aren't? You don't think African Americans aren't? You don't think Indians aren't? You know, Syrians aren't? It's ridiculous the way it works. It only matters, you know, if you are talking and you have white skin, you're a male and you're not homosexual. That's all that matters. Those three, you're in trouble. Yep, you're right. Yep. And listen to be, if you like I say all the time, if you got bitten by a German Shepherd when you're a little kid, not all German Shepherds are going to bite you, but you're going to hate German Shepherds. In your formative years, if you have a run-in with a certain gender, if you have a run-in with a certain culture, if you ever run in with a cop, you can end up hating them all. You've been programmed in your formative years. That's what happens. Sometimes it's for good things, sometimes it's for bad things, but you don't just make this shit up. G'day, mate, and Mage. G'day. I was in Morocco, and that place is a melting pot, and everyone just lays it out. It was fun. Yeah, there you go, Morocco. You know, the Moroccans served with Australians in Somalia. Did you know that? You know, like we said the other day, if you want to see where there's real racism, mate, you don't want to go to Haiti. You know, Ed Jr., his dad went over to Port-au-Prince, which is the capital of Haiti. Over there at the moment, everyone has fled, and Haiti is actually run now by gangs, and I don't think it's ever going to turn around. It's crazy. Rule #1, treat people the way you did. It's like Australians and individuals, normally conservative, valued people and religious people. We tend to treat people the way you want to be treated. But it's like we're the country that goes into a conflict as a signatory to the Geneva Convention, but we're the only one that obeys by the rules. And the day we do something wrong, there's no forgiveness. We're sentenced to death, right, for the slightest infraction. Hey, there we go. And Mage says, I'm joining the Army next year as cyber analyst. I'm keen. I've been watching your videos. You're a crack up. Thanks, Mage. Thanks. And that's what the military is all about. Senses of humor. Senses of humor. And I wish I could tell you something, some of the jokes I used to have when I'd walk in as an instructor. You know, the whole thing was to knock people basically off their equilibrium, where all of a sudden they're realizing, where the hell am I? Where'd this guy come from? You know, you let people know, no pens unless you're using it for paying compliance. I don't want you writing notes. Sometimes you walk in and go, everyone, fuck off, go and get a cup of coffee, come back when you're not sucking off the invisible man. You know, and I used to enjoy it. Elbow is a man, one of the weakest persons I've ever seen as a leader. Newy Joe, I totally agree. I think he's there to soak up Arrow, the ideas, because they don't have policies to run on, mate, because they're actually corrupted by the radical left and their donors. What's this one? I believe more people need to lighten, so don't take it so hard. I reckon you've heard that one on a toilet wall before. If you look at a lot of my friends, some diversity promotion, then you'd learn our views and we're the opposite. Absolutely. And that's what the military is like. And we'll go hard on anyone that turns up that's not willing to do the work. I predict what's going to happen when we start in 2025, that it is going to upset the apple cart when they go back and all the people are allowed to go from Kapuka and allowed to go from the School of Infantry only partway through their training. One of our fellows from Western Australia left the day that he got to Singo, you know, and then when he goes back straight into the kettle, it's going to be too hot for him. Get out of the kitchen. You know, the world. But my prediction is we're going back to common sense, where people are going to start to get held accountable for their actions. And I found very, very sad when I was talking to Simon Powell, the people that I believe are about to suffer the most is lefties and transgender community. And the reason why I think that the transgender community is going to cop it the hardest is because people have been lying at them for years now that what they're saying is legit, that they actually are a woman if they're born a man, if they're born a man. We all know that's bullshit. It's mental health. Okay? And what's going to happen is this phase is nearly over. This trend is nearly over. But some of these people are going to be stuck with ultra identities that you can't walk away from anymore. You know, and they're going to be stuck with that. And it's going to be like some discarded minority group, you know, that's going to push them into a really dark place. And I feel sorry for them. I do. Not the ones that play sports and are stealing the medals off female competitors. You've got to give our women the chance to be the best that they can be. But I think that they're going to be the real losers in this, our transgender individuals. Steve says, I was on tourist parts of France for a few weeks, and the French are quietly resisting and starting to push back more. They love a good ride over there, man. America has a great near future ahead thanks to Trump. Australian follows. Let's go back to common sense, traditions, and morals. Absolutely. I think we need to go to a position where Australians, you know, I'm going to run something by us in a second. I might make a little video on this. It'd be a good one. And that is, I believe that we need to curb We need to curb the cycle, break the cycle, because parents aren't getting this job done with children, and that is at 16 years old at school, every child should be given $1,000, into a CommSec account. Commonwealth would be happy with this, into a CommSec account with IVV, that's India Victor Victor, $1,000 worth of S&P 500 shares that has on average a return of 10.2%. That doesn't mean every year you get 10.2%. Sometimes it's a lot lower. Now, sometimes it goes sideways for a long time. But if they can never touch it, or at least they can't touch it for 30 years, but they can actually put money towards it, what that does, it puts them in the game and makes them start to look at things and go, what's this all about? It's about compound interest. It's about each year it has a drip set up, okay, which is a reinvestment plan for the dividends, etc., which is only 1% anyway. But what it does, it goes up and it goes up and goes up. And if you buy more, then that starts after 30 years can be quite significant. Takes a lot of pressure off the actual government, off the taxpayer when it comes to pensions, etc., and land, home ownership. I think it would be a great thing, and I'd be quite happy, for that to happen for our school kids. That wouldn't be a scam. That would be a beautiful thing that could give financial independence to kids, and they'd be very excited. You'd hear people in the pubs going, how much is your worth now? Oh, no, started. How to beat it? Any pay advances you get. Remember, our dollar is going backwards. Financial institution is a very good tool for the youth, especially delayed gratification. Anything with delayed gratification. Nicole says, need to go as you keep freezing, mate. Be safe and good, everyone. Okay, if it's getting unwatchable, I'm going to get out of here too. I'm going to hit the road tomorrow morning. Great time. Make your predictions something you can manifest, and all the best to you all. I'm going to do some uploads on the actual road in some places of beauty. And guys, I really respect the fact that you've given me some of your time. I'm blessed. See you later. Take it easy. Mr. Buckaroony, you're a legend. Guys, we're hoping to go and catch up as well. How you going, buddy? And God be with you too, sir. God be with you too. Years ago, I bet Mary had a hard time explaining that one to Joseph, eh? But you guys take it easy. And 2025, I think, is going to be excellent. Excellent. Yep. See you later. Let's did him out of the village.